Well, hello and welcome again to the Peterson Automotive Museum Deep Dive Series. Today we're talking about a 2014 Volkswagen XL Sport. Now this isn't just any Volkswagen, as you can tell. It's the kind of vehicle that manufacturers build who want to test the boundaries, who want to explore the limits of what the automobile can offer and how we react to it and respond with it and interact with the car. Just like 80 years ago, when Ferdinand Porsche was developing the first Volkswagen, this car betrays a lot of interesting features and innovations that modern cars just don't have and may not for some time. It's a one of a kind, although it's based on the XL1, which is a two-cylinder turbo diesel engine that is actually part of a hybrid power plant that operates whether on diesel or electric, and as a result you get an incredibly high mileage. In fact, this vehicle is estimated to go about 250 miles to the gallon of gas, which is absolutely extraordinary. And as you might believe, a vehicle that is engineered to be lightweight enough to achieve that kind of economy is also the same kind of vehicle that properly set up can achieve incredible performance. The same qualities that make it such an economical vehicle to go down the road are the same qualities that make it such an exciting vehicle to do the same once it's got the right engine. And the right engine for the XL Sport is a Ducati V-Twin that at average state of tune produces about 112 horsepower, but in racing tune produces about 160 horsepower. And this is all from about 1,600 cc's of two-cylinder engine, incredibly powerful. But the fact that Volkswagen owns Ducati made it a simple proposition for them to go to that part of their organization, to take something that was already on the shelf and repackage it in a very interesting way. And repackage it they did. Of course, this is as different from a motorcycle as you could possibly get. It's a four-wheel vehicle. But looking at it from the front, it almost is motorcycle-like in that it has a very small frontal aspect when compared to a regular automobile. For one thing, it's extremely narrow, especially the cockpit, and the track is also very narrow and narrower, just a bit narrower in the rear than it is in the front to get that important egg-shaped aerodynamic efficiency. In fact, it's so aerodynamic that it doesn't have a rear window. It instead had louvers that adjust to allow air in to cool the incredibly powerful Ducati engine. And since it doesn't have any rear window, you have to rely on cameras to see what's going on behind you. And that's why you've got the little pods up here with cameras nestled into them that show what's happening on the screen on the dashboard. And the cockpit is another very interesting aspect to this car, because when you think about how narrow the car is, and you look inside, it starts to make sense why the passenger seat is set back just a bit from the driver's seat in a fixed position, and why the driver sits a bit ahead of the passenger. And the whole idea is to give the driver elbow room. There's really not enough space for two people shoulder to shoulder in the car. And it's just like a lot of racing cars during the 20s and 30s. You look at Bugattis, you look at Amilcar, and you see that very, very frequently the passenger sat considerably behind the driver, just so that the driver could get the kind of elbow room to muscle the car into a corner. And this is actually the kind of car that you may need to do that, because being that it's a racing car and being that it's hyper efficient, there's not a lot of power accessories. The windows are not power. The steering, as you might imagine, takes a bit of effort. But it's all in all a very, very rewarding driving experience. Only 120 of these were ever built in the diesel hybrid form, but only one FC Sport with the Ducati engine. And we're very glad that they tried it at least once. Hopefully there'll be more down the road, but we're very grateful that we have this car to compare and contrast what might be coming in the future. Thank you for joining us on another edition of the Peterson Automotive Museum Deep Dive Series. I'm Leslie Kendall with the Peterson Museum. Looking forward to seeing you next time.